At the break of dawn, the priests of the Jagannath temple discover a breach in what was thought to be the impossible. A royal plate, encrusted with jewels from the king's private treasury, has vanished from the inner sanctum overnight. This was a physical impossibility. Every door was locked from the outside. The wax seals remained unbroken. No human could have entered. And yet, outside the fortified walls, the missing gold is found clutched by a starving man. This creates a direct paradox. We have a culprit found with the evidence, but no physical path for the crime to have occurred. Either a starving beggar mastered ancient security, or a higher power moved the object through solid walls. 5 days earlier, that man, Bandhu Mahanti, was sitting in his village watching his children's health fail. He had no work, no grain, and no path to survival. In a moment of absolute desperation, he tells his wife a lie to keep her from giving up. He claims he has a wealthy friend in the city of Puri named Dinabandhu, the friend of the poor, who will provide for them if they can only reach his house. They walk for 5 days on empty stomachs. For Bandhu, every single mile is a silent, desperate prayer. He has staked his family's lives on a bluff, hoping the Lord will actually step into the role of the friend he invented. The stakes of this journey have shifted from simple hunger to a total test of spiritual survival. If they arrive and find nothing, Bandhu's wife will lose both her children and her belief in a merciful world. Bandhu brings his family to these towering stone spires. He points to the massive temple and tells them, "This is the house. This is where my friend lives." But look at the scale of the environment. Thousands of pilgrims and high-ranking priests swarm the temple grounds. In this sea of people, a ragged family from a distant village is entirely invisible. As night falls, no one offers them a scrap of food. His wife's hope turns to bitter anger. Bandhu is left weeping in the shadows outside the locked temple gates, his lie finally collapsing. This is the silence after total surrender. Bandhu has brought his family to the feet of the divine, and the response from the temple is a cold, locked door. At midnight, the physical locks on the temple remain undisturbed. Yet inside the sanctum, a movement begins that ignores the laws of the material world. These are the clay vessels used to transport the temple's sacred food. Inside the sealed kitchen, the Lord begins filling a royal plate, gathering different dishes with the frantic care of a mother feeding a hungry child. A man appearing as a temple priest emerges from the shadows and shoves a heavy, jewel-encrusted golden plate into Bandhu's hands. It is piled high with the finest food the temple produces. The disguised Lord speaks with a gruff, almost irritated tone. He tells Bandhu to eat, to stay completely quiet, and to return the valuable plate to the priests in the morning. This story presents a specific understanding of the divine. Here, God behaves as an intimate, personal companion, one who is willing to bypass his own institutional rules and temple protocols to prevent a devotee from being proven a liar. This leads us back to the morning. Bandhu is found holding the royal plate, unable to explain how a man of his status came to possess a treasure from the inner sanctum. The guards treat him as a common thief. They begin a public, brutal beating to force a confession he cannot give. Bandhu's reaction is what baffles the crowd. Instead of screaming, he begins to dance. He recognizes this as the Leela, the divine play. His friend provided a feast in the secret of the night, and now provides a test in the light of the morning. Bandhu accepts the pain with the same gratitude he felt for the food. When the relationship with the divine is seen as a true friendship, the suffering and the grace are understood as 2 parts of the same conversation. The Gajapati king arrives and halts the violence. He spent the night troubled by a vision commanding him to protect his friend, Bandhu. The king points to the evidence. The temple's locks were never compromised. Since no mortal could have broken in, the conclusion is inescapable. The divine itself must have moved the plate out to the man in the dirt. The king formally identifies Bandhu Mahanti as the Lord's companion. He grants Bandhu's family a permanent place within the temple's lineage of service. Total devotion creates a gravitational pull on the divine. It suggests that when a human is willing to risk everything on the word of God, the laws of reality will bend to ensure that word is kept.